So today we are very lucky to be joined by recent award winner Ladi Mohammed-Chapman, who won the award at the Careers Development Institute just last week. And she is also the creator of the PERE model. And we are very lucky to be joined by her today. She is also CEO and co-founder of Global Educational Travel and Tours and has over 30 years experience in this industry. How are you doing today, Ladi?
Very well. I'm glad to be here with you, Ruth.
Just to kick us off, Ladi, tell us about why you believe gaining work experience is so important for young people.
Thank you. It's an absolutely brilliant question. For me, I believe that meaningful work experience has the power to be life-changing for young people, especially those under 18 who are just beginning to get a sense of who they are and why they are here, where they fit into the world. It helps them to develop confidence, apply learning in real context, and better understand what they might want from their future. It's more than just observing adults at work. It's about students gaining insight, exposure, and voice. They get to test their ideas, build transferable skills, or even transformational skills for that matter, and begin forming a sense of purpose. For many young people, especially those from underrepresented groups, it can be the moment where aspiration turns to belief. That's why work experience to me must be meaningful, structured, and inclusive, not just offered to and taken up by those with connections or confidence. It should be something every young person is entitled to. And I really want to stress that entitled to element for me. And also that they should be prepared for, so that they can walk away with something real and lasting. I'll also add that I truly believe that between the ages of 11 and 18, students must have varied, multiple and sequential experiences of workplaces. By that, I mean work experience shouldn't be just a one-off event. It should be something that's built on over time. A student might begin with a light touch in school or virtual activity in year 7 or year 8 here in the UK, and gradually move on to more immersive and sector-specific placements in year 10, 11 and beyond. It's also vital that students explore and investigate a wide variety of industries and sectors, from, say, construction to creative, tech to healthcare. And within those sectors, students should get to encounter a range of different roles. For example, in just one organization, they may meet a finance director, a HR manager, an IT architect, an engineer, all of whom have very different skills. They bring with them different skills, different knowledge, different perspectives, and pathways into the world of work. Each experience should be deepened by their understanding and widening of their horizon, helping them make stronger links between what they are learning in school and the opportunities available to them in the real world. This way, we're not just giving the young person access, we're giving them insight, agency, and aspiration.
Absolutely. I think there's some really good points in there. I think that it reminds me of a lesson I do that we call jobs in a building. So you take something like the NHS and you see all the different jobs you could do in the NHS. You would take something like Warner Brothers and you see all the jobs you could do within Warner Brothers. And the fact that there are so many different jobs in one company, I think that's a really, really important point. I think the other thing you've touched on is culture. So you have so many different cultures, and you could be, like you mentioned, you could be a finance director that works for a bank. You could be a finance director that works for a startup. You could be a finance director that works completely virtually at home in a different country to which your company is based. So I think it's exposing not only those horizons to what jobs you can do within one company, but also all the different cultures across all the different companies. So I think you've made some amazing points there. Please explain what inspired you to create the PERE model and how it can be implemented.
Another great question that makes me really reflect on my own personal journey. So the PERE model was born out of years of listening to wonderful career leaders and career development professionals such as yourselves, educators, and by that I mean teachers and even teaching assistants and anybody who classes themselves as an educator. I've also listened to employers and most importantly to the young people themselves. Whilst listening to all these different stakeholders, I noticed a reoccurring challenge. When work experience wasn't done properly, when it wasn't structured, the impact was limited.
Yeah.
But when it was thoughtfully planned by a career leader, and most importantly, supported by SLT and governors,
Yeah.
and regularly reviewed for continuous improvement, students flourish.
Yeah.
That's why I created the PRE model, which stands for prepare, execute, reflect, and evaluate. It's a 4-cycle or framework, whichever you prefer, designed to help schools and organizations plan and deliver meaningful, inclusive, and impactful experiences of workplaces. Each phase has its own unique practical steps. For example, in prepare, we co-create smart learning outcomes with students and employers, conduct need analysis and pre-experience surveys, and make sure students, employers, teachers or educators supporting the experience and parents are properly briefed. During execute, students are immersed in real tasks supported by workplace mentors and encouraged to ask questions and seek feedback. In reflection, they journal and discuss and complete a post-experience survey, so a survey after the work experience or experiences of workplaces, comparing their learning journey from start to finish so that they can see how far they've come, so that we as educators can also see distance traveled in their learning journey. To me, this is actually where the majority of the growth takes place. I'll move on to finally evaluate. Evaluate involves gathering stakeholder feedback from all the 4 key stakeholders I mentioned earlier, which are students, employers, educators, and parents. And it's about assessing progress and using those insights to improve future experiences, activities, and placements. So PERE is very structured, but very flexible. It can be used with in-person, virtual, hybrid, or in-school, or even international experiences, like the ones you mentioned, and also like the ones that we will be running as part of global educational travel and tours, because fortunately for us, we've had a couple of countries who've actually had interest in the model and have already contacted us regarding using the model for support. I'm very proud to say it's already having a great impact here in the UK. Recently, a UK career leaders, and I'm going to quote her, she said, the PERE model is a really clear and helpful way to ensure career leaders are planning meaningful engagements with employers. By working through each step, students are supported to meet planned learning outcomes, make clear links between what they are doing, why they are doing it, what knowledge and skills they are developing from it, and how they can move closer to building a rewarding career. I thought, wow, she captured PERE very well for me. So to me, that's exactly why I created it, to make sure that work experience, or experiences of workplaces, as I like to refer to them, truly are transformational, not just transactional.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic and really sums it up. I think it helps schools to think about it properly rather than it being what sometimes feels like a tick box exercise, work experience in year 11, tick, done. But there's no prepare and there's no evaluate. And I completely agree that those 2 things are so, so important to be able to do. And having all those options to make it inclusive is really important. And I think if you have that as you said, flexibility, then you might have a student join a school later, maybe in year 10, but because of that flexibility, they could do what you've already done in year 7, year 8, year 9, and they can catch up and still be on that process. If you have a student that's making these decisions a bit later, so for whatever reason, then they can, you know, do things later or earlier. It sounds like it's a very flexible system within the year groups as well.
You've 100% got it there, Ruth. That's the beauty of sort of like a very good structured and sequential work experience program that enables, as you said earlier, students to meet varied and multiple, you know, individuals within an organization and even multiple organizations.
And to know why they're doing it. I think that's the other thing you mentioned, wasn't it? It's so important that they know why they're doing it, rather than when I was at school, you did 2 weeks work experience in year 11, and it doesn't really feel that that's moved on very much. Nobody told us why we were doing it. And I think that's probably the case in a lot of places now. You still do the work experience, but you're not told why.
I think you need to write a book on that, Ruth, because that is exactly the key. Why? And that to me is where the reflection part is so important. So I can think you and I may need to end up writing a piece on that, because I think you've captured it very well. And I could tell from the way you were speaking that you were very passionate about the why.
Do you think the PERE model has the potential to be adopted on a global scale outside of the UK?
Ooh, good question. I would say absolutely, definitely. And I'd go as far as to say it should be. The principle behind the PERE model, the principles are universal. Young people need to be prepared, given meaningful tasks, encouraged to reflect, and supported in evaluating what they've learned, the why that you just spoke about. You know, that's true whether you're in Birmingham, Boston, Botswana, or Bangladesh.
Yeah.
What makes the PERE model global is that it can be easily adapted and it's flexible, as we spoke about earlier. It supports all formats: in school, in person, virtual, hybrid, and it respects different school systems and different cultural norms. It's really important for me to get that aspect across. It really does respect cultural norms. So wherever you are, whatever your culture is, the PERE model will fit around that. It's built to support you regardless of geography. So whether it's used in careers, curriculums, or as part of a national work experience program, or during an international trip through us here at Global Educational Travel and Tours, aka GET, the model provides a common language and structure that can unify diverse stakeholders. We've also created tailored checklists and toolkits for different users, from employers and educators to parents and students, which makes implementation manageable in any context. So yes, I absolutely believe the PERE model has global potential. It's not about copying systems. It's about offering a proven framework that empowers local adaptation and ensures high quality, equitable outcomes for all.
Fantastic. I think because it is such a simple model to follow, but really makes you think, it absolutely is globally acceptable and applicable. I think a lot of people will find it very useful no matter where they're from.
I hope so. And please, they should contact me, because the one thing I also want to help everyone to understand is this is a model that will keep evolving. It's organic, it will keep growing. And the more that career development professionals and educators share with us, we will be able to adapt it and make it even better.
How do you envision the future of work experience and the role of the PERE model in shaping it? And you've mentioned iterations and evaluation and listening to those 4 stakeholders. So how do you envision the next iterations changing?
Ah, brilliant. Thank you. And you've mentioned a lot of things that came to my mind just as you were asking that question. The future of work experience must be, for me, equitably led, skills focused, and globally informed. It really is about inclusion and about supporting young people to articulate the skills that they've gained from such an experience. And it's also really important for us to look at it from a global perspective. It's not just what skills are needed locally or even nationally, but globally. We expect probably our students to travel all over the world. So for me, I believe we're moving towards a more personalized and meaningful experiences, not just sending students to shadow someone or photocopy some material, but involving them in real life projects.
Absolutely.
Or similar projects that you may be thinking of doing in real life later on, and also involving them with diverse teams, and really going back to my favorite part of the process, the reflective process. I see work experience becoming more tailored and flexible through short bursts, virtual tasks, portfolio building, and even international engagement. But flexibility must not mean reduced quality. That's where the PERE model comes in. It helps educators and employers offer high quality experiences, regardless of format or location. It provides tools to make learning visible, voice driven, and purposeful. It shifts the conversation from did they show up to what did they take away and how will it shape their next steps?
Yeah.
Ultimately, I want the PERE model to be part of a wider transformation where experiences of workplaces are seen not as optional extras, but are an essential building block in preparing every young person for the future of work.
I think that's brilliant. I think you picked some really key points there about inclusion, because we both know that, innovation without inclusion is not progression. So, having all this progress and these iterations with inclusion at the center is so important. And having those meaningful experiences when students do go on all these varied ones, it's so valid for them to say, I didn't enjoy working for a giant bank with 20 people in one room. And it's perfectly valid for them to say, so I don't think that's what I want to do. I think having experiences that inform not only what they want to do, but also what they don't want to do is equally valid and equally important.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. It goes back to that old age saying that we have, isn't it? That there's no such thing as a bad work experience, really. Because if you don't like it, guess what? You know that that's a career you can put to one side, that that's one I don't want to, explore further right now. That's not even to say later on in life you might not come back to visiting it. But for right now, it's something I don't like. I did not like, enjoyed that work experience. Let me put that one to the side. Or I didn't enjoy it because that particular organization didn't talk much to me, so maybe I won't go back there next time. But I'm still interested in that particular track. So maybe my next work experience, I'll still stay on form with wanting to be an engineer, but I'll go to another company. So there's really no such thing as a bad work experience. It, is often the way I like to think of it. And obviously, if you have a good work experience, guess what? It'll help you inform your next steps. Where do I want to go with this? It was such a great experience. What do I want to do next? Do I want to maybe think maybe I could offer my services to them over summer to do a whole month, of work experience, and I could even get paid, maybe, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's the importance of the reflection stage, isn't it? That no reflection is a wrong reflection. It's just your lived experience and reflecting on what you actually did, and that there's no wrong answer to your own lived experience and your own reflections. Where can students, educators and parents go to learn more about the PERE model and the importance for work experience under 18s?
Yes, thank you very much. I am fortunate enough to be the CEO and director of two wonderful organizations, one called Seven Continental Careers and the other one called Global Educational Travel and Tours. The PERE model resources are freely and accessibly available. So that's www.7cc.services. And of course, you can also get there through our GETT website, which is www.gett.services. We're constantly updating the website. So soon you'll find downloadable guides for the career leader, a practical checklist for implementation, student tools like reflection journals, and even templates for the pre and post surveys that you may want to use to look at distance traveled, so that you can see that, yeah, it really is a progressive journey that your wonderful students are going on. Also, if anyone would like any further support, they can contact me via LinkedIn. I have a link under my profile picture that says book an appointment with me. So that way you click on that and it'll take you to my Calendly profile, and then you can just click the appointments and schedule an appointment with me. So if it's just basically calendly.com/Ladi and then /wetworks, because we've created a program called Workplace Experiences That Work, which wonderfully turns to Wetworks for us. So, or you can, as I said, you can contact me on LinkedIn or email me at laddie@7cc.services. And of course, they can follow both of us through this wonderful newsletter that you have created for us on behalf of Forget. Thank you so much for that, Ruth. So that's the GETT Beyond Borders newsletter, where we showcase lots of global insights and student voices across our networks. I think, if it's okay for me to say, all of this, the simple message I really want to get across is that meaningful work experience isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's an entitlement for our students. And with the right tools and framework, we can make it a reality for every young person. And that is what we are trying to do here with the PERE model. We are going to give you those right tools and framework so that you can make exceptional, meaningful work experiences or experiences of workplace a reality for your young people.
I think that's so important, because if they have that, then they're more likely to make those decisions that will take them on a valid path. So you're talking about less dropout rates at university, less dropout rates on perhaps internships, people making the right post-18 choices, going into the right work experiences at university, going into the right, employment after that. So what we're talking about is helping a global economy, matching those people to those skills, to those jobs eventually in the future. And that all starts with that work experience that can start as early as year 7. So I think that is fantastic.
And I really like the way that you express that, especially with supporting the global economy or even the local economy of any country. Young people, if they go on to have a really great career, they will lead productive lifestyles. Absolutely. They will give back into the economy. They will generate income. So to me, this is so much wider than just thinking about, should we be giving work experience? Mm-hmm. I go back to, it is essential that you do, because not only will it enable that young person to eventually have a fulfilling and productive life, but it will be able to help them give back to their community, grow their community, and just as importantly for any government, grow the economy.
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect place to end. So thank you so much, Ladi, for joining us from one Get member to another. Thank you so much for being our person to interview today on your fantastic PERE model. And we will put all the links that Ladi mentioned down below, so you can contact Ladi in any way, and you can go to all those websites that she mentioned, and you can continue to follow us here on Get Beyond Borders. Thank you very much, everybody, and a big massive thank you to Career Development Institute award winner Ladi Mohammed-Chapman.
Thank you. Can I just say, we're wearing our CB's brooches, so we are representing global. And great shout out to Candy Ho. Thank you very much. We're very proud.
And I feel through this, we are representing many countries. Obviously, you're in the UK, I'm in Malaysia. The developer of this badge is in Canada. So I think, we're already international.
3 continents just there alone, Ruth.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.